I brought my rickyak home to make some modifications on it. And I forgot to bring my camera home, so you can see in the after part of it. Still hadn't painted it and all that, but what I've done, this was a solid bulkhead across here. I cut the center out so the water can flow through. On the stern here, I cut it out down to the floor, so it'll be like my rick skiff, and any water that gets in here just runs right out the back. But in order to do that on this boat, because the water was right here at the floor line, I had to add me 2 inches of foam to the bottom of it, and this will also help the stability, but it'll pick it up so that the water line will be below the floor here. The way it is on my rick skiff, yeah, the water line's right along here, and the only way water get on the very back end of it, if I walk all the way to the back of the boat, a little bit will come up in there, about 6 inches or a foot up into the boat, but that's it. Any water, if it rains or what have you, it just runs right out the back. Never have to worry about that. I glued these on. I just now started shaping this top piece here. Let's see. Just put some Gorilla Glue in here so it'll expand up and fill these cracks. And I'll sand that down. And I got a mess coming up here. Well, my Gorilla Glue is running over, so I'm going to re-sand all that. I guess I need to move my belt sander. Then when I get through doing all that, I wrap some cloth around it and repaint the whole thing. And this is going to be in the pond behind the house. So these bright colors, I don't really like it being out there in that residential area. Bright colors, it just doesn't look good. It's alright on the marsh so the boats can see you, but in that pond, I'm about the only boat. Other than a couple of neighbors have some kayaks. So I'm going to paint it a gray. The inside of my rick skiff is gray. So I'm going to paint the whole thing here, I think. Go to Lowe's and buy the cheapest can of exterior gray and put on here. And that'll work fine. So I started rounding over the edges, and I'll finish it up once I come back and sand all this after it expands up so I can fill in that crack. Then I flip it over to this side and do this part that way, because I haven't done anything to it yet. You can see where this is the Gorilla Glue. That's what it looks like after it expands out. That's the only bad thing about the Gorilla Glue. The hole's pretty good, but it's kind of messy. It has a little extra work. That's what this belt sander with 80 grit paper on it makes quick, easy work out of it, so it's no big deal. Just a little extra step. But old Rickyak's looking pretty rough right now, kind of dirty. My little covering job back here isn't all that great. Still got to put some cloth on this part. I've never even put any cloth on this yet. And paint over all this. And I didn't do a really neat job on here. I should have. Got a lot of wrinkles in it. But I'm not trying to do artwork, just making a fishing boat. It'll look better when I put the paint on it and cover up a lot of it. And I'm happy with it. I don't really care whether anybody else is happy with it or not. So I'm pleasing myself, nobody else. But I'll when I get to putting the cloth on here and get it turned over and stuff, I'll show some more of it. But anybody wants to make one of these, this is the 2-inch XPS foam from Home Depot. It's only like $28 a sheet here in South Carolina. I don't know how much it is wherever you live. And you don't have to buy any wire cutters or, a special cutter or anything. I'll show you what I'll use. A regular jigsaw with a smooth cutting wood blade in it. It cuts that stuff like butter, and it'll cut it as fast as you can move it through there. So don't waste your money on the special blades for foam. I did that. I got them over there sitting in the window. I ordered some special blades for cutting foam. They're not worth a darn, so don't waste your money. The hot wire, I made one of those also. It's around here somewhere. It works a little bit, but it's still not as good as using the jigsaw. So that's the way to do it. Jigsaw, 80 grit sandpaper, either a palm sander or a belt sander. Belt sander's the fastest, but if you've never used one before, you'll make a mess in a hurry. But I just used the 80 grit on the palm sander and the belt sander, and it works great. So until I get to the next step, and that's about it.